There's enough time for Luc Crawford to make his way in. Always a pleasure to see you. Luc Crawford Designs, an interior designer. It has been a while. I'm like, I haven't chatted with you. So congratulations. I'm looking at the new website, and there's like all of these consumer choice awards and a lot of these long lists of awards.
We're doing really good. It's good.
And a lot of the work too, you're doing a lot of renovations, a lot of kind of, you know, just changing things over. It's amazing.
Correct. I think it developed naturally because with the furniture and the decorating aspect of things, then people start asking more and more questions about kitchen renovation, bathrooms. Their basement is huge for the past couple of years. People are actually renovating. They're not purchasing new homes.
And then it just grows from there.
Yeah, 90% of the business is reno. It's wonderful.
Now, you're talking about people expanding and doing renovations. A lot of people right now are minimizing and are dealing with living in some smaller spaces.
Nesters.
Yes, so what is happening there? Because at one end, you're kind of going bigger scale, and the other end, a lot of the population is downsizing.
Correct. I think it's a natural flow, right? A lot of empty nesters or people who are actually starting. It's two things. But I think if you want to buy a small place, or it's your first place, or you're downsizing, I think that the key factor in all of that, if you want to live comfortably, I think the major factor is that you have to be extremely organized, which is very difficult for most people.
It can be.
But like in Europe, you know, spaces are extremely expensive, square footage is high, so people have developed techniques to make it very flowy, interesting. You can live in a 400 square foot condo or a loft, and you have everything you need plus, and then you can just kind of manage that way.
I've seen a lot of the furniture coming through, multi-purpose things that are happening. We do have some pictures that you sent for us, so I want to take a look at that. So we're going to put them up on the monitors right now and kind of get a feel. So we're looking right here, and you can see kind of multi-purpose.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Like, you know, in small spaces, sometimes you have the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room all together. A lot of people are going to be using their sofas as somewhat of a divider between the living room and the dining room. And if you use pieces like this, then you actually use your sofa, and then at the back of it you have storage for a console, lamps, and then you can have books. It's very practical, and in some of them they put the credenza at the back of the sofa as well, so you can put your dishes and all your extra crystal and things like that.
Okay, what are we seeing here?
Now this is wonderful. If you live in a really small condo or a really small loft, a lot of what we're seeing right now is, again, multifunctional. So you're going to have a space that's going to serve as a desk area as well as a dining area for you to have guests. If you have a small space, then I guess the quantity of people that you're going to be able to have for dinner is going to be very limited. So people are very efficient that way. Again, if you don't have the room on the floor, use the wall to actually be able to store some of the books and the stuff that you want to hide and that you need.
Okay, there's no wall space there, that's all window.
Exactly, because now again, small spaces, new condos, you're going to have the fashion of having the glass from the ceiling to the floor. So where do you put stuff? Well, there's nowhere to put stuff. So this is another perfect example of having a really small space, is that it can be really, really funky. You can have a great sense of style. Like you have this Zebrano going on, you have a small little table. Mind you, this is not for a family of 4. It's probably for 1 or 2 person at a time. But you have the kitchen on the right. You have the small little dining table that serves as well as a living room space. You always have at the back you have the desk area, so people are very self-sufficient that way as well, is the trend. Same thing with bedrooms. Again, this is not new, right? Like this has been around forever.
Right.
IKEA is a specialist in that type of fashion and style, meaning everything is multifunctional. Everything is really easy to dismantle. You have to be clean and extremely organized, which is the biggest challenge of most people, is that when you have to downsize or live in a small space, you technically have to live with the less amount of stuff as possible. Again, this is always great. You can use a closet.
So you've taken away the doors there for the closet and actually built up with it there. That's what it was?
Exactly. I think it's important that you have to use every square foot that you can to its max. If you're really nice and organized and tidy, again, it's very difficult. But again, use the wall, use the height, books, filing system. Again, perfect example of a small space. You have your living room, you have the pull-out sofa that is a sectional. Again, put everything along the wall. A lot of the furniture, if it's not small scale, it's long scale. So you're gonna have access to long sectionals, so you can sit more than 1 person.
That looked nice. I mean, all of those were great examples, and they look like they would be a cozy and nice space to be able to be in.
The difficult part, again, is to declutter.
Well, that's
spring cleaning, declutter.
That's the first thing you tell your clients. And they're like, we're thinking of downsizing. You're getting rid of a lot of things. Great information. Thank you. Congratulations once again, Consumer Choice Award. Luc Crawford Designs.